To say a few words?
Shake hands.
Shake. You do? We have, where is the handheld microphone? Yes, please, thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody. And as Werner Kraus, who is the president of OMTC, to join me to welcome you in Vienna, in this amazing location. We just finished quite a heavy week of meetings, and we concluded with a very successful General Assembly, but I don't think you came here to hear a lot about that, at least at the moment. But I'm very proud to welcome Nico Rosberg, amazing world champion. And honestly, I speak with a lot of emotion. I was mentioning him because I knew him as a small boy. He was 5, and his father at the time was the head of Peugeot Motorsport, and his father was one of the driver of the 905 Peugeot. And so, of course, had some friendly links with the father, with the mom, and the little boy who was there. And he had been doing an amazing career. And I was looking, reading, and when he was mentioning people who have been supporting him, and I'm also very proud to know that my son was part of his career in the GP2 with the team and all the partners. So, Nico has been going through, the whole pyramid. What's something we try to privilege, starting from go-kart, going to different single categories, and arriving in Formula One and succeeding in Formula One. He was driving one amazing car because in motor racing, it's a very specific sport, as the word says, motor racing. So you need a car, you need a team, and you need a driver. And at this level, everything the leaderships have been able to put all that together, and that does explain the success. And very often I have heard complaints about Mercedes being too strong, with the drivers being too strong, but simply they were too strong because they did the best job. And I must say I was fortunate enough to live that in another part of my life. And I'm very admirative because I know the efforts you need to give. And if I speak more about Nico, he had to fight against a great champion, which is Lewis Hamilton. And at the end of the day, he had been the best of the season because he won the championship. So I think it will be, I read quite a lot about one other having retirement and all. But each one, as I remember, and it's something I was thinking, because that during the course of the year, we changed the regulation, which was an interpretation from the stewards, where I think he lost 1 or 2 positions, and he lost a few points. And I was thinking maybe it could affect the end of the championship, which it did not at the end. So, a lot of parameters have happened during the course of the season, and the winner is Nico Rosberg, and I congratulate him for his amazing achievement. Well done.
Could we just get a photograph of you two together, please, Jean? Just you and Nico together, just a photograph, please. There we go. FIA President Jean-Claude.
I think we should have a photo with Toto as well.
Toto, perhaps you come up as well. Thank you.
Away from this.
There we go. Let's play a picture. Okay. So, thank you, Mr. President. Could I ask you just to stay on the stage for a second, please, Jean? Because Nico, it's been a fantastic year for you, but I know before we got started this afternoon, you wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, so for me, thank you all for coming. For me, it's a very special day today. Of course, as you know, to receive the trophy this evening. It's going to be amazing. But for another reason as well, I want to take the opportunity to announce that I've decided to end my Formula One career in this moment here on Monday. And yeah, so to explain, it's been ever since I started when I was 6 years old. I had, a very, very clear dream, and that was to become Formula One world champion. And it was very, very clear in my mind, as long as I can think when I was growing up. And now I've achieved that. I've put everything into it for 25 years of racing, and with the help of everybody around me, with the help of fans, and the help of my team and my family and everybody and my friends, I've managed to achieve that this year. So it's been an incredible experience for me. I'll remember forever. And yeah, so at the same time though, it's been very, very tough also, because the last 2 years losing to Lewis were extremely difficult moments for me, which fueled my motivation in a way that I didn't even know was possible, to fight back and to achieve my dream finally. So this year, yeah, it was extremely tough because I put absolutely everything into it. I didn't leave a stone unturned from Austin last year, really, where I suffered a lot after that loss. And yeah, so I pushed like crazy in all directions, and along with all my, everybody who was involved, which is also my family, a lot of sacrifices. Even my wife, for example, at home, every time I was home, she understood that I needed to rest, so I never did any nights to take care of my little daughter, Never did any nights, never did any difficult things. She was always there to support, to make it as easy as possible. And that's just one example of the commitment we all put into it. And yeah, that's why I'm just not willing. I've achieved this childhood dream now, and I'm not willing to do that sort of commitment again for another year. And I'm not interested in coming fourth or whatever. I'm a fighter, and I want to win. So yeah, not interested to do that again. Don't want to do it again. And so I've decided to follow my heart, and my heart has told me to stop there, call it a day, and go on to other things. And it's been wonderful, and it just feels right. Feels right to me. So I'm very, very excited. My wife Vivian is also very, very excited. She'll have a husband back, and I'll be a dad again then in the next time, which is going to be wonderful. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much for your support as well these years. And yeah, I'm really cherishing the moment. It's absolutely awesome. All these experiences now, to share this success with all of you and with all the other people. It's been phenomenal. So looking forward to tonight. One of the most special things for me is also to have achieved it like my dad has been able to win the World Championship. So to share that with him, the first thing I did when I saw the World Championship trophy yesterday was to look where's my dad, to see him, and that's been amazing. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you for joining me. Not so easy.
Jean, a very brave decision from Nico Rosberg there. I just wanted your thoughts on the legacy that he leaves behind.
I must say I was privileged because Toto gave me a call this morning just before we started the General Assembly at 9. So, I was very surprised, and I'm sure that everybody is surprised, but he has demonstrated over the year he was brave. I think he did the 5-6 hardest laps of his life in the last race.
That's for sure.
You can imagine.
Horrible.
What are the consequences, and he made it. And the continuity is demonstrating that he's a smart, brave young boy. And I said to him, I hope you can help us more on campaigning on road safety. So I don't need the answer right now. Take some time to digest, but I'm sure. You're so gifted, and I will say we are so gifted. Can you imagine? When you see what is happening around the life and around the world, and then to be able at 31 to decide to give the next step to your life. So it's a big privilege, and congratulations, and a lot of good luck which you deserve.
Thank you.
Well, Nico, grab a pew. So, where to start? I mean, the announcement you just made, very brave. How long have you been contemplating? Do we talk about the R word or not?
Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, it's after Suzuka. What's our word?
Well, retirement. Do we call it?
Oh
retirement?
no. Let's call it ending or something. Retirement is for old people. No, it's after Suzuka. Because in Suzuka, it became my title to lose, you know, and that's when the pressure really started also, and when I started to think about this, that if I do achieve my childhood dream, then I think it would be great to end there.
How difficult has it been for you to actually come out today and go official with it?
It's for me personally, it's not that difficult actually, because it just feels right, you know. So the only thing that makes it difficult for me is that I know that I'm putting my racing family into a challenging situation. That's the hardest part for me.
And had you won the World Championship prior to this year, do you think you would have made the same decision?
I don't know, it's impossible to answer that. I just know that now that is 100% related to having won the title.
And what has been the reaction of family and friends and people you've told? And I imagine very emotional.
Well, Vivian's super excited, of course, because she's also extremely tired after a season like that and with all the commitment she's put into it. My mom also, because she suffers so much. You know, she's never watched a race in her life. She always goes hoovering around the apartment because she's so scared. So she's very excited that finally she doesn't have to suffer anymore. That's it.
Is it just an indication of how much it took out of you to win this championship in 2016?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I put absolutely everything into it, you know, and it was very, very tough. You know, Lewis is an amazing driver, one of the best out there, and and to beat him is just extremely tough, and especially also then, well, the last 4 races, but especially the last race, unbelievable. I mean, mentally crazy stuff.
I mean, talk us through that last race. Those last few laps, he was backing you up into the oncoming traffic, the guys behind you. What were you going through in the cockpit?
Yeah, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible because it was so near, you know, this to finally win this thing. It was so close, and yet still, you know, it was such a difficult situation because I didn't know how far Lewis was going to take this, how extreme he was going to go. And also, I could see behind, you know, there's Vettel and Verstappen, the 2 cars, you know, and my tires were degrading, and if I make the smallest mistake, the championship is finished. So it was, it was really, really, really horrible.
What has been the highlight? Obviously winning the title, but this whole season, you seem to have taken your game to a different level. Is that how you see it?
For sure, yes. This year was the best I can be, definitely. You know, in the preparation and everything, as I said, put everything into it. And I'll give you some examples as well, maybe to understand. So for this year, since Austin last year, I started to work very, very closely with a mental trainer, and got into meditation and things like that also. And I've made massive progress as a result. You know, it's just finding those extra little percentages to perform even better. And mental training is difficult because it's something you need to persevere with. You know, it's every day, morning, evening. It's just on and on. Otherwise, there's no point. So, and that's something and so without that person who was supporting me, he has a part in this as well. That's been phenomenal progress also for me to discover that and to improve in that area. Another example, I bought a go-kart, you know, in the winter, and I've been just driving because we don't drive much out there. And so I'm sure that I can practice my skill and improve my skill a little bit more if I'm just out there driving something all the time. And again, that's days away from home, and I'm as good now as I was when I was fighting for the championship when I was 14, I think, in go-karts. That's how much I drove, so and I think I made a difference as well. And that's just some examples of how I gave it everything, didn't leave a stone unturned, and pushed, and so I'm very, very happy that it worked out.
And because this is the best you can be in 2016, that's why you feel now is the right time to call it an event?
No, it's very simple because I've achieved what I set out for, you know, and this is, and it's unbelievable how clear it was for me also, just even when I was 6 years old. I don't know for you who've seen the video on my Facebook, you know, starting off in go-karts. I remember that was my dream already in those days, winning the World Championship, probably inspired by my dad because I knew that he did it, and all the way through. Of course, there it was more of a childhood, you know, thing. Then with later years, it became more and more serious as a proper target and proper aim, and just going for that. And I've done it, you know. So I'm so happy, and at the same time, as I explained, you know, it was a very, very tough year. Don't want to do that again.
And that does mean going out at the top.
Don't really think about it that way. Share it with as many people that I can, who've been supporting me. That's it.
Nico, what will you miss about Formula One?
Well, the winning, of course. The winning is just it's so awesome. It's emotions which are indescribable. Sunday night, it's unbelievable. I mean, really, the amount of people I hugged after the race, so cool. And to do that, to party with my whole team. And so special for me to see how everybody was also happy for me, you know? That was really, really special for me. Even a lot of you from the media, and my family was there, my friends. Do you want me to take that, or? Okay?
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it's one of the fun moments ever, the Sunday night party. It just, we went nuts. So I'm not at my best now because I'm still struggling from it.
Nico, tell us about the last week. Yeah, as far as I can make out, you've been all over the globe. You've had people congratulating you from Malaysia to Germany to just talk us through what your schedule has been.
Yeah, it's been pretty nuts. Celebrating Sunday night in Abu Dhabi, then Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, amazing. The turnout in Petronas, the passion they have there for our sport, for our team, unbelievable. One of the best moments actually of the whole thing. Then celebrations in Germany, in my hometown, Wiesbaden, which was fun with my family, my mom, and everything. Then with the team yesterday, Brackley, you know, all those guys, best guys in the world. And I'm here because of them. They made the car. You know, they gave me the best car on the grid. And so a celebration with them, which was fun. And then now here, and it's just on and on. Doesn't stop, but it's great.
And it's not going to stop for some while after the news you've broken today. Let's open this to the floor, guys. Who's got a question for the world champion? John.
Okay, congratulations, and you take us all by surprise today.
Yeah, please, just go past with the mic.
So the thoughts started coming up from Luca once the title became something real that I really could get. So that's when the thoughts started to come. And then the funny thing is, with all the mental work and preparation and everything, the thing that gave me most clarity before Sunday's race in Abu Dhabi was the thought, actually I'm going to win this here today, so this is going to be my last race. So let's, you know, take it all in. And that's actually, funnily enough, that's the thing that gave me most clarity before the race, and took away some of that massive pressure, because I knew, okay, let's try and enjoy some of this as well. So that was very nice. Of course, that all finished once the lights went off, because after that it was the most intense and crazy race and tough race of my life. But and then yeah, it was just a process on Monday. Didn't know if I had the balls, but so it took a bit of time. But I'm going through with it, and I'm feeling great. So it was more or less Monday, Tuesday.
Nico, what was the reaction of your father when you told him that you were going to retire?
Understanding. That was nice. I mean, my whole family is just very, very happy, and of course they just wish me to do what my heart tells me to do. You know, and so they're happy with that, and they know that's what I want to do, and so very understanding.
Lawrence Edmonds from ESPN. Nico, just for clarity, are you ruling out ever coming back to Formula One?
No, definitely not. Finished.
Done.
Done. End of story.
Will you race anything else?
I don't know. My next step is being a dad and a husband for a while. And that I'm very much looking forward to.
Chris?
Chris Bender, left behind. Nico, congratulations firstly on the title and on this event as much as it has for everyone sat here.
No, for sure not. That was my #1 priority, to let the team know as soon as I could, because I know it's late. It's late in the year for something like that. So actually, Toto was the second person I told, and that was on, I'm not really sure, well, some beginning of the week sometime. Because as I said, that's the only difficult thing about this, is that I'm putting them into a difficult, challenging situation. If I worked for that, it would be easy, or easier. And yeah.
Perhaps now is the moment to bring on Toto Wolff, team principal of Mercedes. Toto, come and join us. Thank you. Well, tell us about the moment when Nico broke the news to you about your time, if you want to call it.
Well, it was a very difficult moment. We spent some time together after Abu Dhabi. We've been in Malaysia, spent the whole day there. It was pretty emotional because there was just such a big crowd cheering for Nico, and something I have never seen. Coming into the towers and 3,000 or 4,000 people in green t-shirts shouting his name was just really unbelievable. And yeah, then we hopped on a flight from KL to Singapore, and then from Singapore to Frankfurt, and then we had some emotional discussion, and he was so clear by what he said that it was no doubt in his decision, and very difficult for me personally. And yeah, that's what I told me.
Nico, it's clearly an emotional moment. How difficult was it for you to have that conversation with him?
Yeah, massively difficult. In fact, I couldn't tell him in person. I had to call him just after we parted ways because it was just too intense, especially with 3 hours sleep in 2 days. I couldn't do it. So because, as I said, that's the most difficult part for me.
And Toto, what was your first reaction?
Yeah, it was. I knew it was something because we spent a long time in the plane, having dinner and talking about lots of things, and then the moment I left the lounge in the morning to jump on the plane to Stuttgart, and obviously Nico was going to Wiesbaden. He called me, and I said, "I'm coming back." He said, "Don't come back." That was the moment.
Did you try and persuade him to stay on?
We've known each other since 4 years now, and one thing I admire with Nico is his clarity of thinking. He's black and white, and although you could have argued that after 3 days of celebration, maybe you need to become sober in order to take a decision, but that is not with Nico. He knows exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's in control of his thinking. So there was not, for the first moment he told me, there was no doubt that this is the decision, and that's it.
Nico has been at Mercedes since the beginning. What legacy does he leave behind?
A huge legacy. First of all, the way he's decided to leave Formula One is something that is unheard of. It's something that all of us admire in a certain way, to call it a day when it's the best and when you're at the top. And he has been part of the development of the team since the very early days, and such a strong pillar. The team has performed in the way it did because the balance is right between the drivers and the dynamics within the team. Traveling to 20 Grand Prix every year, the energy is hugely important, and Nico was a big contributor to that energy in the team. So besides, and I could not go on for 10 minutes, besides the know-how, his skill as a driver, the way he's setting up the cars, giving us direction in the development of the car, direction on how to put the car on the racetrack, the interaction with Lewis and the engineers. I mean, there's so much.
How good has he been this year? Is this? He says it's the best he can be. Have you seen him step up this year?
The results shows it. He won the World Championship. He's the best driver. He's the best driver in Formula 1 today, and the points show that. And the way I perceived the last couple of races was that he was extremely professional. He needed what he did what was needed, and he had an incredible winning streak at the beginning of the season. They built the foundation, and he just drove it home.
It was incredibly impressive. Nico, how much satisfaction do you take from the fact that you've been here since the beginning? You've been with the team for 7 years, you've grown with them, and finally you've won the World Championship.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story, really, for me, because starting from day one, and because together we've been through the horrible times. You know, we had some proper dark moments together, and that makes you grow together as well. You know, 2012 or something, for example, where we're finishing 12th and 16th, you know, it's proper bad, and especially when you don't really know why. And then to come through that fighting, and then start dominating the sport in the way that we did, and then still for me to lose 2 times to Lewis in very, very tough ways for me, extremely tough, and then to finally take it away from him in the last year. The whole way it happened made it all extra special.
Okay, Toto, I know a lot of people will be thinking, what happens next? Who is going to drive Nico's car in 2017? Have you had a chance to think about that yet?
No, I think the first on the agenda was to give Nico the opportunity to tell everybody that he's stopping. We didn't want this to leak, so we kept it in a very small circle. And obviously now we have to consider all options. And it will be very hard to Sebastian Ogier is putting the arm up. So there is a completely new, very strong option here. We start to look at this on Monday.
Okay, any questions from the floor for either of these two? Chris, yeah.
So just sort of following on from some of the points Nico's made, did you get the feeling from him earlier this year that this was ever a potential opportunity that he may sort of try and achieve this goal and then finish racing? He said he was thinking about it since Japan.
No, not at all. He's had a bit of a feeling which I couldn't quite judge when we traveled. That there was something going on. No, but it took me completely by surprise. And I obviously went to Stuttgart and saw some of the board members and Niki, and they were equally surprised. It was something we would have never imagined. But equally, in the same way, it really causes admiration within me.
Nico, how much will you miss driving?
How much will I miss driving? I have no idea. I'll tell you next year. I don't know. I don't. Of course, no. Of course, I mean, there's so many wonderful parts, you know. So of course I'll miss that. That's for sure. There's so many nice things and so many fun things about this job. This is why we're doing it. So definitely I'll miss something, but I think on a whole, 1000% sure, I'll be happy with the new direction.
Okay. Yes, Kate.
Kate Walker, motorsport.com. Question for Toto. You said a minute ago that you admired Nico's decision to get out on a high and to leave on a strong note. Is this something that we can expect to see in the future if and when Mercedes does leave the sport? Will you only announce your departure after a series of successful wins, or will you consider leaving at the bottom?
That's another harsh question. I hope we'll never reach the bottom. No, this is a different situation. If Nico took the decision for himself because it felt